Welcome back, everybody. This is a follow-up to our previous video where we're going to go from this to this. We learned how to go crouched and prone. Now we're going to fix our firing point so we can shoot when crouched and prone. Are you ready? Let's crack on. All we need to do is write a script that will change the position of the fire point to match our sprite's height when we're crouched and prone. Very similar to what we did with the player collider script in the previous video. We set an offset in size for standing, crouched and prone. We'll do the exact same thing, but with the fire point instead. So go ahead and create a new C# script called weapon slot position and open it up. Exactly like in the player collider controller script, we want to have a reference to the player controller so we know when we're stood, prone or crouched. We then want three vector 2s, standing position, crouched position, prone position. Then in the start function, we will get the player controller using getComponentInParent, because don't forget, the player is the parent object of the weapon slot. And we can immediately get a reference for our standing position by default by saying that standing position equals transform.localPosition, the position of the weapon slot relative to the player. Then in update, exactly as before, create three if statements for is crouched, is prone, and is not crouched and is not prone. Then in the is crouched function, when we're crouched, we want the fire point to be shooting from a crouched position. Therefore, of course, transform.localPosition equals crouched position, and we'll repeat for the rest. When prone equals prone position, and when we're not prone nor crouched, we're in the standing position. Excellent. Hit save. Head back into Unity. When everything is ready, attach the weapon slot position script to the weapon slot, like so. And you should now see we have the X and Y values for our standing, crouch and prone position. To set these values, we're going to use the same method we did to get the values for our collider size and offset. First, we will duplicate the weapon slot, zoom in so you can see closely. Then, in your animation tab, select the crouch animation, choose a frame, and you can then move that duplicated weapon slot to the position you desire, and whatever your values are in the X and Y here will be our crouch position. So go ahead, copy and paste those like so. We'll repeat this for the prone as well. So let's get prone, move it down. So as you can see, this is a little more along the X axis there. So I'll put it there, that looks good. Go ahead, copy and paste those in there. Like we said before, we don't have to do this for standing. We'll get those values by default from the start of the game. Then let's copy this component with this information in, delete the duplicated weapon slot. Then in the original, let's paste that component as new and remove the old one, just like so. Then when you're ready, hit play. Now when we shoot, we should be firing from the correct position. Excellent. However, I have a standing shooting animation, but not a crouching or prone. If you want to set this up, your animator may want to look something like this. If we're crouched and shooting is true, then we're crouch shooting. If we are no longer crouched, then we're shooting. And if we're shooting and prone is true, we're prone shooting. And if we're prone shooting and we're no longer shooting, then we are simply prone. You can repeat this, but the opposite, all the way back along. And now you should have a nice smooth transition between firing standing, crouched or prone. Fantastic. Thank you all very much for watching, guys. I hope this answered some of your questions, as I know some of you wanted to know how to shoot when crouched or prone. If this did, please do let me know. And if you have any further questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Take care, guys, and I will see you soon.